All rise. 14A District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is now in session. For the court of here, the Honorable Judge Simpson.
You may be seated. Could we have the waiver?
Of course, Your Honor. Good morning, Ashley Lundy for the people. Your Honor, this time the vote waits for this honorable court and the Office of Public Defender. People do not believe that any conflict exists. They are any voice called out.
Ms. Pate.
Good morning, Your Honor. Public Defender Natalie Pate on behalf of the Public Defender's Office. Likewise, Your Honor, our office does not believe that conflict exists between our office and this honorable court, but if one to wherefore arise, we would waive such conflict.
Court for its part, thank you. The court for its part also does not believe there's conflict either in the Michigan court rules or the cases decided thereunder. To the extent a conflict does exist, given the waivers, the court will consent to hear the matters. Court does call the case of the People versus Derrick Hall. All right.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Hall, who appears via Zoom from the Macomb County Jail. Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
Here, Dwayne Hall.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Today's the date and time set for sentencing this matter. I have received and reviewed the PSIR as well as the recommendation this week. However, since I did receive that, I had not been able to have an in-person visit at the Macomb County Jail with Mr. Hall. I will state for the record that the sentencing recommendation is for time served as well as the statutory minimum fees. So I will leave it up to Mr. Hall. Is it whether he would like to proceed today and ask the court to adopt that recommendation, or if he would like to adjourn the sentencing so I can meet with him now that I have the PSI. So Mr. Hall, this is the 2019 case that you pled to, and the sentencing recommendation is for time served. I got just that report this week. We can adjourn your sentencing out so I can come down and meet with you and discuss it unless you were comfortable proceeding today, understanding what the recommendation is.
Time served.
Yeah, it's the sentence I would impose are the statutory minimum fines and then the credit.
What's the fines?
For time served.
What's the fines?
It's on count one, it would be $100 and the other would be $50. There's nothing I could do about that. Those would be those are set statutory minimums.
Is it any way I could do community service for those? On release?
You could, but you'd petition the court, but we're not going to really do anything with those, quite frankly.
Okay, so can I ask my lawyer a question about this habeas corpus that I had sent in? It was saying basically y'all had to get back with me within 10 days or dismiss it. Is that?
So Mr. Hall, I believe that's about a different case. Yes, Your Honor, that I'm not looking for a different case, but maybe for this case, if we request an adjournment.
That's for this case. I sent in habeas corpus, one habeas corpus for both of those.
I don't want you and your attorney to have discussions publicly this way. If you want me to adjourn your sentencing, I will adjourn it and we'll set it for another day.
Okay.
Or we can proceed today. It's up to you.
I mean, it's going to be the same charge, so I'll adjourn it to see if see what else can I do. Do not have to pay that fine because I don't have it, and right now, even if I was once I got out, I've been homeless for like the last 8 years, so it's like so.
So Mr. Hall, we kind of. Sorry, Mr. Hall, I don't mean to interrupt, but we can adjourn it so I can have a discussion with you, just so you know the recommendation won't change, but we can absolutely discuss it so we can have a private conversation. So the judge did say he would adjourn it for us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You want it adjourned?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I'll adjourn this sentencing to May 14th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. I'll be down to see you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Court calls the case, People versus Jacob Spelling.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Spellings. Please state your name.
Jacob Spellings.
All right.
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for bench trial. We have come to a resolution. Mr. Spellings will be pleading guilty to an added count, I think it would be 3, of operating while visibly impaired. And in exchange, counts 1 and 2 would be dismissed.
And that would be a first offense, Your Honor. A WVI first offense, the 93-day misdemeanor, $300 fine, and various license sanctions contrary to 257-6256B as a boy.
May I have him sworn?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? State your name.
Jacob Spellings.
All right. Sir, it is this court's understanding that you are going to be pleading guilty to the charge of operating while visibly impaired. Is that correct? Or operating while impaired or visibly impaired?
Visibly impaired.
Okay. Operating while visibly impaired. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days of jail, up to a $300 fine plus court costs. The court could also order community service and any rehabilitative services the court deems necessary. Court could also order your vehicle immobilized, could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services.
Yes, sir.
Understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. And understanding that, do you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, sir.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, sir.
All right, you signed an advice of rights form, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Any questions regarding any of those rights?
No, sir.
Please look at paragraph 5. You'll see a copy on the podium. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights in there for.
Yes, sir.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, sir.
Are you on probation or parole?
I'm on probation, but this incident happened before I got on.
Before you got on probation.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plea?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, sir.
You're doing this voluntarily
Yes, sir. I think.
and of your own free will,
Yes, sir.
and because you believe that you're indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes, sir.
November 13, 2023, at the location of Platte Road, Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Prior to operating that motor vehicle, had you ingested a controlled substance or an intoxicating substance, I should say?
I don't know how to answer that, sir. What I'm
Did you
being,
smoke marijuana?
no, I didn't. I didn't.
Did you ingest marijuana in some way?
No, but I had a very small amount in my system from the day before. And also I was on medications from a doctor prescribed that I didn't know would affect my driving. So I guess, yeah, I was impaired.
Well, all right. So you took certain prescribed medications?
Yeah, they were given to me at the rehab the last time I went, and they never told me I couldn't drive
Okay,
on it.
hold on. What kind of medication was
They were antipsychotics and nerve pain relievers.
it? Okay, it was a controlled substance, correct?
I don't think they were controlled. I don't think they're controlled substances.
So
Wait,
you
no,
can't buy them.
I think one of them was. I think one of them was gabapentin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had also at some point prior to your driving smoked marijuana or taken some type of.
I did not smoke marijuana while I was driving, no.
But prior to driving.
Did you listen to my question?
Prior to driving, I did not smoke marijuana, no.
I thought you said you did the day before.
The day before, that's not that day, though. I'm sorry, I'm not understanding, sir. I apologize.
Okay, so
I
prior to
apologize.
your driving, that would be any point prior to your driving, you had smoked marijuana.
The day before while I wasn't driving.
Okay, and the day before is always prior to that day.
Oh,
Isn't that
okay.
true?
I see what you're
In
saying.
the
I see what you're
existence
saying.
of the world, that always is the case.
I
Is that
see,
right?
I see what you're saying now,
You
sir.
do now?
Yes,
Okay, so now I'll ask it again.
sorry.
Prior to your driving, did you take marijuana?
Yes,
All right. Were you stopped by the police or was there an accident?
there was an accident.
Okay, what happened with reference to the accident?
Um, between the medication that the doctor gave me and the mixture of low blood sugar, I blacked out while I was driving. And the same thing happened 3 weeks later in another accident. So I stopped taking that medication and I haven't had any blackouts since.
Okay, so my question is what happened with reference to your accident?
I blacked out. I woke up against the wheel, wrecked on the side of the road.
All right.
I just blacked
Were you
out.
taken to the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Was there a blood draw?
Yes, sir. I voluntarily blood draw. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make you upset or
I'm not upset. I just need my
It's just
questions. I
early.
just need my questions answered.
it's just early and I'm trying to process everything.
There was a blood draw.
Yes, sir.
What were the results of that blood draw?
I cannot tell you. All I can tell
All
you is
right,
that there
so
was,
stop. Miss Lundy.
Yes, Your Honor. There was a blood draw. There was no alcohol detected. There were 2 different drug analyses done. The first showed 1.8 nanograms per milliliter of 11-hydroxy delta 9 THC and 3.7 nanograms per milliliter of delta 9 THC. There was also, I think, sertraline, which is Zoloft, that was located as well in the blood. Sertraline, excuse me.
It was, yeah, detected but not quantified.
That cannot quantify.
Got it. All right.
just a nano.
Sir, do you have any reason to dispute those blood test results?
No, sir.
All right. This is gonna be the tough one. Do you believe that on that date, at that time, that you're in gestation because you had THC or at least the effects or the remnants of THC or marijuana in your system, as well as the other drugs that you've taken, that impaired your ability to operate that motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Counsel, have I finally complied with the court rule and would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
People are satisfied.
Satisfied, Judge.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to count 3. Counts 1 and 2 are dismissed.
I'm sorry, by the way, for
Is,
making that so complicated.
it's not complicated for me.
I know, I'm sorry.
Defendant is referred to Von Swartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel, as well as a drug assessment.
When it,
Sentencing will be
May 28th at 12 p.m.
May 28th, 2024, 5. What time?
12.
12 p.m., 12 noon.
can you repeat that date one more time, sir?
May 28th,
May 28th,
12 noon.
12 noon. Okay.
All right.
That's for sentencing for this case.
Correct.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
On
you.
your way out, stop down at probation. They'll be on your left-hand side. That way we can get the process started.
Okay.
I'll walk
Sounds
with
good, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're facing also by approach very briefly, just 1 second.
Sure. Hey, that was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've done 2 cases. Not calling it. I've done. Those were 2 hard cases. Courthouse case, people versus Travis Oliver.
Alexander, on behalf of the Super Honor.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Pate with and on behalf of Mr. Oliver, who stands to my right. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Travis Oliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's the day and time set for a bench trial. My client and I are ready to proceed.
And the people are ready to proceed as well, Your Honor, and I did want to put on the record that there was an offer extended for the defendant to plead as charged with the prosecutor's deferred, and it's my understanding he's rejecting that offer.
Is that correct?
That is correct, Your
All
Honor.
right,
but-
let's roll.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, the people would first call Carolina Elise.
All right, are you waiving?
Oh,
open?
waiving opening, sorry, Your Honor.
Any objections to the waiving opening?
No, Your Honor, defense would also waive opening.
All right, very good. Ma'am, come forward and be sworn.
Testimony about the truth, all of the see, thanks for your first and last name for the record, please.
Spell that, please.
Oh, Carolina
All right, very good. Main choir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Do you know a Travis Oliver? How do you know him?
We are married, currently separated.
Okay. And if you saw Travis Oliver today, would you recognize him? Is he in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you briefly identify something he's wearing and where he's sitting?
Wear black.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect that this witness has made an in-court identification of the defendant.
Without objection, the record shall so reflect.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I'm going to direct your attention to January 20th of 2025. On that date, were you at 4975 Washtenaw Avenue?
Yes.
And is that in Ann Arbor?
I think it's the same.
And is that in Washtenaw County,
Yes.
Michigan? Okay. And on that date, did something happen that made you contact police?
Yes.
What happened?
We were exchanging. My daughter, he was dropping my daughter off to me, and he was upset. And caused a big scene, damage to my car. And then proceeded to follow me, or pretended to follow me to a certain extent. I was scared.
Okay, so let's go back to when you say he damaged your car. How did he damage your car? What happened?
He parked right next to me, and opened his door as hard as he could. And his door damaged my passenger front door, dented it, and the paint peeled.
And were there pictures taken of this damage?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness of People's Proposed Exhibit 1?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. And what did I just hand you?
It's the picture of the damage.
And that's a fair and accurate representation of the damage to your car caused by Mr. Oliver?
Yes.
Your Honor, the people would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 1.
No, Judge.
Exhibit 1 is admitted.
And maybe publish it to the court, Your Honor.
Yes. Just hand that to me. Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead.
And do you expect this damage to cost money to fix?
I believe so, yeah.
Objection, sorry for the wait. Your Honor, I would ask to strike the witness's testimony as a speculation.
That it would cost money to fix?
I think it will cost money to fix. I would object as a speculation, Your Honor.
I'm not sure even how to deal with that. Objections overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, one moment, Your Honor. And what kind of car do you have?
It's a 2020 Ford Explorer.
Okay. And when he arrived at the location to do the custody exchange, how did you know he was upset?
As soon as he approached, he was shouting from the car. When my daughter was bringing her things in the car, he was just shouting. I could tell that he was upset.
Okay. I have one more moment, Your Honor.
You may.
And your vehicle is registered to you?
Yes.
And did you give him permission to hit your vehicle with his car door?
No.
Okay. Nothing further from the people, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, Miss Elise. Am I pronouncing your last name correct? Elise. Sorry, I apologize for that. My name's Natalie. I'm an attorney for Mr. Oliver. I just have some questions to follow up on your testimony. And to be candid, sometimes I can be kind of a loud mumbler. So if you need me to repeat any of my questions, not a problem at all. So turning directly to January 20th, you testified that you two met at the gas station for a child exchange that night?
Yes.
And this was the BP on Washtenaw Avenue?
Yes.
And it was typical to do child exchanges at this BP, correct?
You said difficult?
Typical.
Typical, yes, yes,
And at that time, you and Travis were separated?
yes,
And as of today, you have since filed for divorce, is that correct?
yes,
And prior to the filing for divorce, you were married to Mr. Oliver for about 9 years or so?
yes,
And at the time of January 20th, there was no sort of court-ordered custody arrangement or anything, correct?
correct.
Okay. And then turning back to January 20th, you told the police that when he arrived that day, you thought he was already amped up, correct? He was mad about you cheating?
That's what he claimed.
And he was also mad about a trip that you had taken over the holidays with your kids to New York?
He knew about the trip, he was not mad about it, no.
And this was a trip he didn't go on, correct? And he believed you had met up with a guy on that trip?
Not at the time, relevant.
Your Honor, this goes to what he was allegedly mad about on the day that she already.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, sorry, I don't remember if my question I fully asked or answered, but he believed that you had met up with a guy on that trip?
Not at that incident, no.
Okay. But on January 20th, he was mad at you about perceived cheating?
I don't know why he was upset. He gets mad just because. I had no clue why he was upset.
But did you tell the police on that day that he was perceived cheating?
He was, that I was cheating with. He stated a random name.
Gotcha,
So, yeah,
gotcha. I'll move back, or going back to January 20th, sorry. You told the police that during the interaction with Mr. Oliver, you were in your own car this entire time, right?
correct.
And Mr. Oliver didn't at any point try to open your car door, correct?
No,
And he didn't at any time try to reach into your car in any way?
no,
And you also told the police that on this day, there were no physical assaults by Mr. Oliver of any kind, correct?
correct.
And you testified today that your property was damaged, the car door.
Yes.
Did you have this damage since repaired?
No, I haven't.
Have you gotten a quote from any professional on how much this repair might cost?
I haven't.
And since January 20th, when you're out and about in your car or going places, have people that you know, have anyone mentioned this perceived damage to the car door to you, or has it been noticed by anyone else?
Yes,
And you testified that it was Mr. Oliver's car door that caused this damage to your car door, correct?
correct.
And he never threatened verbally that he was going to damage your car at any point, correct?
No,
And this took place at night, correct?
it was evening, like 7-ish, 8.
Was it dark out?
Yes,
And this car door, your testimony was that it only hit you, Mr. Oliver's car door only hit your car door once, correct?
he opened the door, hit it, and then pushed it even more to kind of like that, I guess, just dent it more. So he opened the door hit my car, and then he gave it like another push.
So there is no video of this incident, correct?
A video on it, but I don't know that I got the door part.
And
So there's a video of the shouting.
Yes.
has that been provided to the people?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Is the video available?
Yes, my phone.
Okay, so I think, counsel, that's probably, it looked like a surprise to both parties, but I think that's gonna have some bearing on what exactly was going on. I would suspect that both sides may want to look at that.
Yes, this is the very first time hearing this from anyone, Your Honor.
I think I said that. I think Ms. Zenda had the same surprise, so.
We have not seen this video. Or
All right, so do you have your phone with you or?
My purse, yeah.
All right, so why don't we do this? Why don't I take a break and you can show that to prosecutor and to.
Okay.
All right, all right, court's gonna stay.
Back in session, the honorable.
You may be seated. Back on the record in the case of People versus Travis Oliver. Ma'am, I just remind you simply for the break that you're still under oath. Okay, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hello again. So I believe where we left off was me asking that there was no video of this incident, and then you made us aware that there was a partial video, correct? And you previously testified, and you would agree with me, I have now reviewed the video. You would agree with me that in the video, Mr. Oliver is seen leaving in his own vehicle, correct?
He was backing out. He did not leave.
And in the entirety of the video, he is in his car, correct?
He was out of the car when my daughter was bringing her things into my car.
But you'd agree with me in the video itself. He was in his car the whole time in the video. And you would agree with me that the video does not at all show him opening anyone else's car door.
Yes.
And the video does not show him opening his own car door at any point.
Right.
And the video doesn't show him closing his own car door at any point, correct?
Correct.
So you'd agree with me that there is no video of his car door hitting your car door. I believe that would be all the questions for me. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you redirect?
Just a few questions.
Why did you feel you had to start recording the interaction with Mr. Oliver?
Because I was not sure what he was going to do next.
And that video, at what part in the events of the 20th did that video occur? Was it the beginning, middle,
That
and?
was right after my daughter got in the car, we closed the door, and I was getting ready to leave. And he just kept on shouting things at me, so I thought, this is going to keep going, so I should record it.
And the video occurred after he hit your car door?
Yes.
Does it? At you in a way that you perceived as being angry?
Yes.
Would counsel agree that's on the video?
I would agree, Your Honor.
I believe she tested or just stated that her opinion was that he was angry at her. I certainly would dispute if that was her feeling. I would definitely take objection to being characterized as Mr. Oliver yelling or screaming at all in the video.
Okay, so is there a reason I'm not seeing the video?
I would have no objection to its admission. I was
would have
not
no
moving
objection.
for its admission, however.
I mean, if you don't want me to see it, I'll just, oh, that's fine, but I mean, part of, it seems to me in this is one's motivations for doing what they're doing, so.
So you took a video on this date, and did you provide the video to the prosecutor's office today?
Today.
Today?
Yes. Yes.
And was the video you provided the video we were just discussing?
Yes.
And Your Honor, the people would,
Yep, cable. Is there a cable down?
yes.
If I may, the police officer that came she, from the gas station. She went to the gas station and saw the video, but I don't know what's.
From BP,
Yes,
is there any indication that that was preserved?
I have not seen the BP gas station video.
Pardon?
I have not seen the BP gas station video, Your Honor. I don't believe that was.
I have not either. I do not believe either party has it. And this is a proper proof to the court and review the body cam video of that office, in my review,
Your
of
Honor.
the body cam video of officer talking to that attendant. I do not believe that that video has ever been turned over. to
And it was not
prosecution.
mentioned in the report, Your Honor. The video.
Okay. All right.
Is what's on the screen, is that a fair and accurate representation of the video that you provided today?
yes.
Your Honor, the people would move to admit people's proposed exhibit 2.
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 2 is admitted.
Maybe publish to the court, Your Honor.
Yes.
I think my volume. Oh. And Your Honor, if I could have one moment.
Pardon?
I have one moment, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I did want to correct the record. There was mention of the BP gas station video, but I do not believe we ever received that video.
And I would agree with Ms. Zenda that I do not believe that the prosecutor's office has ever received that. And I have certainly reviewed it. And based on my review of the other discovery, I would not be surprised if the Pittsfield Township Police Department also have never received it either. They
Well,
tried.
it mentions the video. But-
Yes, Your Honor, in the report, but we never received a video.
Does it exist?
I'm not
So-
That's a question.
This might be a little clunky, but frankly, in the review of the body cam video, the officer did speak to the gas station attendant who said, I can submit that to you likely tonight. I don't know if it's gonna be during his shift or after. He said it saves in our system for 7 days. He would have to be sending it to an iPhone. And the video, the body cam ends with the promise that he was gonna be sending the video.
To the police.
Yes, so I don't know if they ever
We
received.
know, so why don't we contact the police and find out if they have the video?
I can call the officer.
All right, why don't we do that? Was there any other questions of this witness? All right, any questions?
Nothing.
No questions? Okay, you may step down. And while you guys try to figure that out, we'll take a brief break in this and figure if we have the video, otherwise I'll just call it on. Is there gonna be any more witnesses for the people?
None from the people, Your Honor.
All right, at this point. And I will wait to ask if there are witnesses for the defense until we figure out if the video's there. Okay. All right, so I'll pass on this matter. I'll take care of some other matters and let's figure that out, and then I'll come back to it. Hey. But I don't have, I know.
Yeah, the one we have.
Attorney for Bodman here yet? Oh. Oh, there she is.
All your. The only affirmative case left.
Right.
Yeah.
So no dismissal came in on.
No, I received the other 9. This is the only one I have not received yet.
All right. Are you ready? Arbor One West and Arbor One versus Rico McGuire et al.
Ellis Friedman for the plaintiff.
Henry, I'm coming for the defendant.
Okay,
Randy Barker, city attorney for non-party city of Ypsilanti.
okay,
And Travis County on behalf of Field Properties.
all right, where are we?
Your Honor, you ordered and kind of, we all agreed to have a meeting to try to work on a schedule and a plan and some deadlines and so on for permitting, construction, inspections, et cetera. That meeting took place yesterday at City Hall, and it was, I would say, very productive. Schedules were set forth, agreed upon. Protocols were set forth and agreed upon. We're shooting for, I think it's the 20th. Well, I'm gonna, could I let Ms. Gordon Lehman do the particulars?
She's gonna talk anyway.
Okay. We'll let her start right now.
Yeah.
So, yes, I was here and, that meeting, it was very productive, good progress made, everybody left the meeting the same day. We went through, I know one of the things we had discussed after hearing.
We thought we had resolved kind of came about again last evening in an email exchange, and that involves the testing for the mold in these units. And our resolution, to I guess resolve some of this unpermitted work issues with mold contaminated drywall or wet drywall that needs to be replaced. You need a permit for that. Was that they would do the unpermitted work. They would do what's called a scope or a probe type of air quality test, just at very least to satisfy us for purposes of our inspection, purposes of our certification process, that the black mold that seems to have been stigmatizing and permeating these buildings and all the other ones has been remediated effectively. You can't get rid of all of it. We understand that. There's also natural outside molds that are not toxic. We understand that too. But that's what we thought we had going on yesterday is this happening. And that was because of the report that was shared with us by the landlord with recommendations that each unit be evaluated for mold based on the testing, particularly based on testing that showed that the units that didn't have indicia of mold or where it was visible, in some cases we're actually testing higher than this, where we knew where it was. So that seems to be our sticking point that we're trying to work through. And that resolution was in lieu of addressing some of the headaches and the additional costs of tearing out unpermitted work so that we can perform the inspections of the root cause of the mold moisture being resolved. So that's where we're at. I thought yesterday's meeting was incredibly productive. Of course, there was some tumult at the beginning that everybody worked through, which was what happens in these types of meetings. But the fact that you were called yesterday, I think should be, something that the court should be fond of. But that seems to be our only issue, and it came up after the fact, after everybody left the room, went home for their day.
And so I will say, response to what Mr. Barker said was, so as a part of the correction orders issued by the city, if they notice mold, that's something that is being remediated as part of the COC reinspection process. So they're following the process of the standards necessary to remediate the mold. So that's been done. So when they come back for reinspection, if it said there was mold in this unit, that's being taken care of. As Mr. Barker also indicated, there was some concern about work being done without a permit, so they weren't able to necessarily verify whether or not there was an issue in that area with mold before the work was done. So, in an abundance of caution to ensure that we're not ripping out work that's already been done, we've agreed to do the limited scope test in that area. So at this point, we're taking care of the mold that we've noted. We're doing the scope test for areas that you have noted there were concerns and there's work without permits. But the city is asking us to do air quality tests in all units, even units that they didn't know mold was in. And so while this didn't initially seem unreasonable, we learned that information from the county level, from the county health department, that they don't recommend this type of testing because it's unreliable. You can have mold coming in, airborne mold from open window. It can be from, plants, it can be from living conditions, it can be from anything. So you test for air quality mold in all those units. Some you may get some hits, some you may not. So if the goal is seeing if there's mold in these units, we're
Well, where is that request? Where is that? The city's position that the mold, that testing needs to happen.
Well, actually, we're getting a different bit of feedback from the county health department because of the how aggressive the mold was in all of these buildings. And mind you, the reports that were done initially were actually produced by the landlord, except for these two buildings. It's apparently almost.
No, I understand all of that. I guess what I'm getting at is, what is county health recommending? Because I know in other cases that testing, you're right, they don't recommend that testing because it may or may not tell you anything.
That's what you're testing for. Mr. Myers is here. He actually spoke to the health department this morning.
Good morning, Judge. I had a lengthy conversation with Christian Swat. And on the county's website, it does indicate in typical circumstances that indoor air quality isn't recommended. However, with the conditions of these buildings, she would definitely recommend indoor air quality testing due to the nature of the report that was submitted to the city by the landlords, as well as the mold conditions that she has observed on the property. I'm waiting on getting an affidavit from her. They're checking with their legal counsel right now on the condition of mold out at this property as being a concern to the county health department. And so while in very typical average circumstances, it would not be something they would recommend, in this case, that is not the case. And this is not the case in this particular matter.
All right, so I guess then my question would be, if county health says this is recommended, is it going to be done?
I mean, my understanding as well is that if
I guess I'd like to address that.
Yeah.
Air quality testing is inherently unreliable, which it is.
I know.
And there is evidence that there's mold in some of these units and some not. I don't know how the testing becomes more reliable. It doesn't make the testing more reliable. It seems like that it doesn't connect.
I mean, at some point, at least as I'm to understand it, you're right. In a typical circumstance, you're not going to get anything you can necessarily do anything with, because it could be, as counsel, outside. It could be coming from anywhere, right?
Yes.
However, if what they're saying, and having dealt with these cases for a while, that there is some significance or something that occurred there that would indicate some alarm based on this testing, then maybe something else need be done. But again, and I understand your point, Mr. Freeman, that I don't know, you do the air quality testing, it could be because of the building, it could be because of whatever, or it could be something outside that is just exacerbates the problem, but I'm not sure how you're gonna know unless you're doing sort of specific testing.
I guess the thought of doing air quality testing on 18 buildings at 24 units seems like that might be overkill, to say the least. And it seems it should be more site specific as opposed to this broad brush.
Quite frankly, I would agree with you, given what I know about the testing. I mean, it just seems to me that you don't.
Well, also the cynic in me, Your Honor, is that the testing is usually done by the company that recommends further testing, and this the conflict is readily apparent.
Right. And the problem, what's going to happen if there are sort of inconsistent results? So you've done the specific testing in the units, and then all of a sudden the air quality says whatever, says something bad.
And that's part of the concern as well. On top of the unreliability of it, we're concerned that we get these results and, the city sees them and says, there's something in the air and we got to rip apart all this work we want to see what's going on. The city has not been shy about citing in these collections. They noted issues where they saw them, and if they noted mold, they submit their reports, and we've been correcting it. We're doing a scope test, we agree that. I don't know what else we need to do to take care of their concerns. These air quality tests are not going to assist us any further with establishing, is there mold in this apartment? If it's so unreliable as to where it's coming from. And if the end goal is.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's, and if I put it in the reverse of what I just said, but I kind of was saying it. If the specific testing indicates that the mold has been remediated within certain levels, of course, you're not going to get rid of it all, but then the air quality comes back high, what's the city intending on doing with that?
I think what's going to happen before I can really answer that question is we're going to get those results back. And we're going to run them by the health department, who gave us a different position than they've given the landlord. But it's going to be what did they find? It's going to be black mold or which I think it's Satrobacter and a few other ones that are known toxic. That's going to be a problem for us. I think that might actually be a problem for Michigan. So the health department, we don't control Michigan, we don't control the health department, we don't control the HHS, who would have a say in whether they're going to allow these departments.
Okay, but here's the problem. If the mold is of such a level, the health department themselves, if they wanted to, could cite the owners. I mean, they could take their own remedial action. I'm trying to figure out how one would take this testing that's not recommended and use it. I mean, because it can tell you all kinds of things. I mean, but it may not tell you what you necessarily want to know.
Don't need to know.
What?
Or need to know.
Well, you may need to know it, but it may not matter. I mean, hey.
For the purposes of the plan that we discussed and getting us to CFC, I just don't think that this requirement on us at this point from the city is an appropriate requirement to put on us in order to get to CFC. Taking care of the mold they cited, we're correcting this, we're doing the scopes. Like your Honor's asked initially, if another issue comes about where there's discussions that Air quality testing required from some other agencies, that's separate, and distinct from what we're doing here. But for the purposes of this agreement with the city, we would be fine moving forward with the remaining portions of our plan and not including this requirement that we must test every single unit in these two buildings. The city's also indicated that they're going to want testing on all of the buildings as well. That just does not seem like a reasonable or a requirement that they would be authorized to make of us right now. So that's where we are.
And we're being told something different by the health department.
Well, I'm gonna need something from the health department. So when did they say they were gonna have an affidavit?
They had run by their council, I think.
So they have already provided an affidavit to the county. I'm working on getting that one. I can work on getting another affidavit, but my guess is it will probably be Friday.
They've already provided what to an affidavit regarding this air quality? Okay, the mold concerns, but I thought this affidavit specifically was going to address the air quality testing.
So we were told last night at 6 p.m. that they, of this. So I reached out to the health department immediately after. I had a couple of email exchanges. I spoke with Chris this morning, who was heading into a meeting. And then I have not had a chance to figure out what Your Honor would like us to get from the health department. Now that I've heard, I can work on that. I can't.
Well, I thought, well, initially, I thought there was going to be an affidavit indicating that despite our indication that this is not recommended testing, they would be going through the specifics of what in this would change that recommendation.
And they have no problem doing that. That affidavit has not been created. There was an affidavit sent about the concerns of mold at this property. And so
yeah, but I can have that at any, I get that people were concerned about it. I don't think that's ever been a secret. I'm talking about this, something from the health department that says we're changing our recommendation, in essence. That now this is something that would be required.
And I could request that of the county health department. They also said that if the judge would like to hear from them directly, they'd be more than happy to speak with you.
Yeah, I don't mind speaking with them, but all right, let's do this. Can somebody send me, if it's agreed upon, at least without this one sticking point, can somebody send to the court, to Ms. Weidling, the synopsis so that I have that?
Synopsis is agreed upon is
that the synopsis is agreed on?
Yes.
that was one of the big sticking points that the city had was the testing. And so when we found out, we tried to figure out what that meant.
Hold it, let me back up. Because when we first started this, you guys were telling me how productive it was, blah, 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 blah. Well, I didn't mean it that way, but you're telling me all that. At some point, somebody is saying, we have a synopsis of what we agreed upon, but we have this one sticking point.
Sure.
So it would seem to me that absent that one sticking point, there's a synopsis which encompasses a plan of what needs to be done.
Yesterday, we had a meeting, we agreed that our side would prepare the summary. We provided it to the city in addition to our comment regarding the air quality, indicated provide us with your edits and thoughts. We have not heard anything back. Obviously.
We had a conversation this morning.
Oh, yeah, we talked this morning verbally about this air quality issue. We have received no other comments or concerns about the remaining portion of the summary. I have not seen anything from the city with regard.
So does the city have objection to the synopsis?
Generally, no, but
I don't know what that means.
Well, hold on, let me flip to it. So if the agreement was that, we'll use the ICC book to, when talking about permits, we'll use the ICC book to address any severe understatements of value for purposes of the permits, adjust the permit value appropriately. That was agreed. That's what the synopsis also includes. If we had some other procedural matters with our BSNA software, I think we're looking into that. Having a regular meeting where appropriate, we had that agreement. Single avenues of contact versus revolving doors of people, we have that agreement because I observed a nice breakdown of communication that might have led to a lot of this. But then we have this remaining issue of the air quality testing was.
I don't want to deal with that right this second.
Sure.
I thought there was a synopsis that everybody had agreed on. And that this air quality then became a sticking point, which then started to involve the health department. So I thought, based upon what I heard, that prior to even me calling or talking to anybody at the health department, getting an affidavit or anything, I could at least see what the parties have agreed on. But now I'm hearing that the parties didn't agree on that.
We agree on everything except the manner in which the air quality testing and mold testing is going to be done, because we agreed to have that. It was our understanding at the end of the day yesterday before the end of the day yesterday, that would be done in lieu of requiring a tear out of the illegal and unpermitted work.
The scopes.
Is there any objection to me sending Your Honor the summary that I provided yesterday with the removal of that one portion regarding air quality? Okay.
Wouldn't be for me.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we have a summary of everything we discussed yesterday in our, this was provided to the city yesterday. And we can provide that to, I can simply remove the one line that we was in there about air quality testing with the understanding that the remaining portion in there is all what we agreed on and discussed yesterday. That would be.
Except to the extent air quality testing was used in lieu of tear out of the unpermitted work so we can inspect it. That's exactly what that's what the sticking point is. And I think everything else is.
But I thought, hold on.
The scope is not an issue. We're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking two different types of testing here, because there's the scope testing. I thought that was agreed upon, and maybe I'm hearing things, that was agreed upon in lieu of tear out.
Correct.
But that then there was this added thing of the air quality, where the parties didn't agree because the county on the website says, or has said in the past, that is not recommended, but now is supposedly preparing something that says it is recommended. But I thought up to that point, everything was agreed upon.
You're right.
I know, but so now the air quality testing, again, folks, correct me if I'm wrong, just seems to be this other thing out there that somebody's recommending. To what end, I'm not sure yet, but that somebody else is recommending. But in terms of what's going to happen, the parties agreed on that.
Correct. And I'm gonna say when we walked out of the room yesterday, we had agreement on the air quality testing, in particular because of their reports recommending that. But that seems to have been something they reconsidered at the end of the day. So that's the one sticking point. they were worried about the cost and the necessity and the benefit, and I understand that.
In any event, Your Honor, we're prepared to forward the synopsis to you right now. And we're prepared to go forward with it right now, commencing today. And then to one other and very important matter, we did have the escrow money has been wired to us to be placed in the court's escrow. 62,000.
Is that the envelope? You know, I could like smell money. So I knew that's what it had to be. So I didn't write it because I said there's an envelope, it's got money. I just knew it. Well, I can't take money, but it will be paid up there. And so that you know, we were trying to figure out how we were gonna hold it. We will be holding it on Mr. McGuire's case, but it will be noted as to what it is so that it's not whatever, but we'll know where it is. Okay, is that? What, do you just point to the ceiling going, shouldn't you like take me out or something? That was what, aren't you supposed to? I'm good.
The rest of us.
That's not Alan's job. He just points at the ceiling.
Are they doing mold testing up there?
I don't know what you're okay with it? No. I sometimes would like for you to show a little more alarm. Just, even if it's false, I just need, like that there's some urgency. That's okay. I'm good. I'm good. If you tell me I'm good, I'm good. Okay, so we got that part. That's coming into me. And okay, let me do this. Is it already over? To me? Oh. Everything goes to Ann. That's okay, he's got it, because we don't have it.
Yeah. But either side is going to.
The BP video you have, but
Yes.
he wants me to see it. That's okay, that's fine. Right? Okay, so that will come over.
I believe Mr. Beal is already.
All right, so let me ask this. And I'm gonna take a break and go look at, I want to take a look at the synopsis, but while we await what the county is going to say about this air quality test, can things move forward?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we felt after yesterday, we see the finish line.
If we've got target dates,
So
we're ready to roll.
theoretically, just so that there's no surprise, county comes and if county says air quality testing is not necessary if these other things are done that are being done, then is everybody on the city side and everything, are you gonna be good with that? Pardon?
So we have received a letter from Gorman's firm saying that Jerry Dunn is not welcome on the property and they will call the police.
Who is Jerry Dunn?
He is the building official for the city. And
So why am I dealing with that right this second?
because they have asked Jerry Dunham to come do inspections on the property.
I guess there's a sticking point. Mr. Beal has no concerns with Mr. Dunn being on the property.
Well,
The owner has expressed it, and that's how we're gonna make sure.
Was I just talking French? I thought I was talking about air quality.
Oh, I understand. That was the only other issue that Mr. Myers had addressed that.
we've talked about the fact that we want him to do inspections, Your Honor. That's just, come on.
That's for different.
No, folks. Okay, so let me deal with the issue I was dealing with before that other thing gets thrown in. If the county comes in and says this air quality testing is not necessary, is that gonna be satisfactory for the city?
I don't know how it would be an impediment for us. They're telling us.
Okay. If the county comes in and says this air quality testing needs to be done, are the owners, number one, willing to go forth with that air quality testing?
Just one second.
So I think a part of our concern is that if they come and give an opinion, they're not considering the work that is currently being done to remediate all of any mold that's been cited by the city. They're not taking into account the scope tests we're gonna do that may determine. So the health department is giving an opinion on what?
No, I know. And so certainly, for either side, when the opinion comes, there's going to be this notion of what are you basing that opinion on, right? So I get that. But
It sounds to me like the health department would be saying, hey, we know that this property has previously had issues with mold. We are going to recommend or not recommend this. And our position is cure those problems. So what if they come and recommend it to us? If our response is, we take care of all the problems cited by the city, what is this recommendation based on? And is there a legal requirement that you do this?
I think we can't give you an unqualified yes to that question.
oh, I was getting there very clearly because anytime the attorney from Bodman just starts talking, it's not going to be it's going to be qualified. Okay. What I'm a little bit worried about is, and why I need to take a look at it is, how is work going to proceed if it might have to be redone because of this air quality thing? That's what worries me.
Well, we're of the opinion that there's so much on the list that needs to be done that we
can go ahead.
We can move ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you agree with that? Okay. So what's this issue with the inspector? Not that I want to get there, but
It's no longer an issue. He was there all the time and he was interfering, but we're past that point. He's got to be there to do inspections. We have to have him there.
Okay.
It's a non-issue.
Anything else? All right. So everybody sit tight. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go look at this synopsis. If I have any questions, and then I'm likely going to give you a new date to come back and at least report. We're looking, our target right now is the 20th, correct?
Yes.
I think what we did, just to have some backups too, is we targeted the 19th, 20th for those final out inspections. And then we kept the 22nd as an alternate date, just in case we have to come back. If you saw something, we have to do a follow-up inspection. Or if there's a problem, we just use the 22nd. So we tried yesterday to create some flexibility in scheduling that.
Got it. I got it. Okay. All right. Court standing brief.
I won't be back. I won't be back.
Okay. I understand. All right. Thank you.